Exploring nature with Rayleigh. December 6th, exploring nature with Rayleigh. I think I've given my spiel about little brown mushrooms before with reference to gymnopolis mushrooms, where if you try and research about a type of little brown mushroom, a lot of sources will tell you that it's going to be really hard to identify, and it could be mixed up with poisonous species if you're trying to eat them, and so there's no point in trying to identify them, which I disagree with. But this mushroom right here is the reason for this rule. This is called the funeral bell, Gallerina marginata, and it's a little brown mushroom that grows out of wood, out of dead wood like this. It's got a reddish brown color, and it would normally be like kind of a, a concave shape, but it's kind of old and wrinkly now. And this is a good specimen because you can see on the edge of the wood there's some reddish brown staining. Those are the spores that fell off of the gills of the mushrooms and onto the wood. And so that tells you what the spore color is. They have like a reddish brown spore color. And then on the underside you have the reddish brown gills that are about the same color as the cap that touch the stem. And then there's a tiny little remnant of the veil usually, but it falls off easily, so you can really only see it in younger specimens. I don't think any of these ones have it because they're older. But in a younger specimen, you would be able to see it, and it will fall off very easily, so a lot of them don't have it. So this is the funeral bell, and it is aptly named because it is one of the deadliest mushrooms in North America. It has a toxin called amatoxin, which is named after a genus of mushroom called Amanita, which also contains the same toxin. And without going into too much detail, basically what it does is it can prevent your body's cells from making proteins, which it has the same effect on every cell of your body, but it's mainly considered a liver toxin because when you ingest this, the first place that your body's going to send it to is your liver, so that's going to experience the effects. And when your body can't produce proteins, the proteins is basically the whole structure and function of a cell, so it won't be able to function anymore, and it won't be able to have a good structure anymore, so it will just destroy your cells. So this one will destroy your liver cells, and so when you first ingest it, you'll have like normal GI symptoms like nausea and vomiting and stuff like that. It's your body trying to get rid of it. And then that will go away and you'll be asymptomatic for a couple days. And during that time, this thing will be slowly destroying your liver. And if you eat like, I don't know exactly how much, but it's not that much. Maybe you eat like one whole mushroom. This will destroy your liver in just a couple of days, and you could die, or you might end up needing a liver transplant. So don't mess around with these funeral bells. All right, over here we have this mushroom. It's a bracket mushroom, a polypore. Grows under this wood, and it's brown on top with these little stripes in it, and then on the bottom we've got some small white pores. And it's kind of got, right now it's got this spongy texture. When it's really young, it's really spongy, and you could squeeze it and water comes out, but not right now. It's kind of hardening, and eventually it'll dry all the way up and be like wood. So this is called Ishnoderma resinosum, or the resinous polypore. And when it is young and spongy, it has to be more spongy than this. It's edible, and people call it the beefsteak fungus because supposedly it tastes like beef. I don't think so. It just tastes like a mushroom. But yeah, this is a good edible if you find it at the right time. Ishnoderma resinosum. All right, over here on this tree, we found some lovely mushrooms growing. They're kind of half circle shaped. These ones are kind of old and wrinkled, but when they're younger, they'll be better and softer. And if you look at the gills, they're white. These ones are old, so they turn brown, and they run all the way down to the edge. They don't end, and there's pretty much no stem. So these are oyster mushrooms. They're Pleurotus ostriata. And oh, you can see it. Well, they have white spores, and you can actually see some of them right here fell down onto this other mushroom here. So these are normally edible, but these ones are all old and gross. But yeah, if you found some that are fresh, this is a lot you could take home here. And then also some more here. These are the same kind. These are a little bit fresher, but they're still gross. Here, maybe I can show you the stuff I was talking about. See, up here's there's one on top of it, shed its spores down onto it and turned it white, and then these turned yellow, but they're supposed to be white. And then you see the gills, they kind of just run down. This one does have a stem. They kind of just run down and kind of disappear. There's not like a definitive end to them. And they have a distinct smell too, but I can't show you that on camera. So yeah, this is the oyster mushroom. Okay, it doesn't care. But yeah. This nut-looking thing actually has a wasp living inside of it called the spongy oak gall wasp, or Amphibolus confulentia. So as you can see, if you break it open, there's these little wispy things. What happens is the female lays her egg on a budding leaf, and that causes it to grow in this weird way with a sort of shell around it and these fuzzy things. And right in the middle there is going to be the pupa of the animal. So once it's done feeding and that thing forms around it, it's going to form a pupa. I tried to show the actual insect, but I ended up dropping on the floor. So that was an accident. But yeah, so these guys are a type of wasp. They start by, obviously the eggs are laid on the budding leaf, and as they eat it, that causes a deformity, and it grows around the insect, providing it food and protection, like we've seen with our Rudbeckia gall midges. But these guys kind of have the same thing, and these guys kind of alternate generations. So, earlier in the year, someone laid an egg on the tree roots, and that produced a female, only females, that would reproduce through parthenogenesis, meaning that they lay an egg and it's already fertilized and it hatches. And then, so these guys reproduce through parthenogenesis, the ones that come earlier in the year, and they only feed on the tree roots. They do not form galls, but then when they grow up, they lay eggs on the leaves, and these are the ones that can form either male or female, and they will reproduce through sexual reproduction. And once that is completed, they'll only produce a female, and that's going to be the next generation that lives on the roots, and so on. So this is the spongy oak gall the spongy oak gall wasp, or the Amphibolus confluenta.